R. Kelly is sending a message from prison.
Oh, you talking about PD?
Yeah, it's in the fan,
Yeah,
bro.
man, yeah, that's all over the news. We see that. We watch that.
And what's crazy is, what I know, they paying him. That's when all is gonna be lining up. But you gotta turn on your camera, let them tell you who they is, put their ID up, let them tell you what.
So who's next?
Y'all don't see the lineup?
Oh, yeah, no.
Yeah, we see the lineup. I'm just waiting to see who's next.
Jay-Z is setting Diddy up.
I didn't do this stuff. This is not me. Y'all trying to me.
You won't believe what's going down. R. Kelly, the man who's been locked up tighter than Fort Knox, is suddenly spilling tea hotter than a summer sidewalk. And who's he talking about? None other than hip-hop royalty Diddy. And Jay-Z, the streets, are saying Kelly's got some words that might just turn the whole game upside down now. I know what you're thinking. R. Kelly's rep is already in the gutter. So what could he possibly say that anyone cares about? But honey, when a man's got nothing left to lose, that's when the really starts flowing. And let me tell you, this tea is piping hot and ready to serve. We're about to dive into some juicy gossip straight from the jail. Howsy, Kelly's breaking his silence, and the music world is shook. What could he know about Diddy and Jay that we don't grab your popcorn? Cause this drama is about to unfold.
Because he's the acceptable monster at this time. Like R. Kelly was the last time I sat on this couch.
So who's next?
Y'all don't see the lineup?
Oh, yeah, no.
Yeah, we see the lineup. I'm just waiting to see who's next.
Jay-Z is setting Diddy up. Why is everyone having such a hard time? He ain't doing shit different. He lined up D. Haven, stole his life and identity. He lined up Big L, stole his life and identity. He lined up Dame Dash, stole his life, identity, and took his love. Lined up R. Kelly. He wants to be the one.
Yeah, shout out D. Haven. He actually hit us up, wanted to tell this story.
You need to talk to D. Haven.
Yeah, we need to talk to him.
I told you that last year when I put you on the phone with him.
You did.
I want you to think about this. Allegedly, Sean Carter is responsible for enacting Hype Williams to put Aaliyah on a faulty plane to move her out the way as punishment for rejecting him, and so he could level up Beyonce, who was struggling. Let's just say allegedly that happened. Now I want you to think about 106th and Park with Mary J. Blige. Free, who is a victim of Sean Carter.
Yeah.
Mary J. Blige, who is a victim of Sean Combs, are sitting there talking about the death of Aaliyah amongst each other. Think about that. You got a Diddy victim, you got a Jay-Z victim, and you got a superstar gone. They know what happened. And yet, they had to sit there and have that conversation like they didn't know who did it. Think of the power of that moment. Think about Claudia Jordan right now. Claudia Jordan don't ever mention my mother name. She mentioned it yesterday. Talking about why people are afraid to come forward. You mean like you? You was Diddy girl. Corey was Jay-Z girl. Why don't you claim your friend? Claudia.
So, Jack, when you say...
When I say Corey, I'm talking about Kathy White.
Oh, yeah. That's what I was about to ask.
Jay-Z's pregnant mistress,
yeah,
who died of an imaginary fucking aneurysm. Just like the woman who was best friends with Kim and Kimura, who wrote the book Bling and died as soon as it made the bestsellers list. Who the fuck was these people supposed to go to? You can't go to the boss because the boss is fucking you. And the boss's boss don't get no fuck. Can't go to the authorities. They're all bought and paid for. You could try to get a special prosecutor, but they'll just pay somebody to reassign him to another case. Where the fuck you go when you get f***ed over by the industry? Nowhere. That's where you go nowhere, which is where people like me step in. You right, I go to Diddy parties to walk mother out, cause ain't nobody stopping me when I come.
Now let's dish about Diddy. You think R. Kelly would keep his mouth shut. But nah, he's got some words for the bad boy Muggle that might make you look at Diddy sideways. What's Kelly saying that's got everyone talking? And why now? It's no secret that R. Kelly and Diddy go way back in the music game. These two have been running in the same circles for decades, sharing stages, studios, and probably a whole lot of secrets. But with Kelly locked up and Diddy facing his own mess of scandals, you got to wonder what kind of tea Kelly's been brewing behind bars. The streets are buzzing with rumors about what Kelly might spill. Is he about to expose some shady business deals? Or maybe he's got the dirt on Diddy's personal life that we ain't never heard before. Either way, it's clear that Kelly's not holding back, and Diddy might want to brace himself for what's coming now. Let's get into what Kelly actually said. Girl, it's wilder than we thought. Kelly's been watching all this drama unfold from his cell, and he's got some thoughts. He's basically saying that Diddy's always been about that life, and none of these allegations should surprise anyone who really knows him. Kelly's throwing shade left and right, hinting that Diddy's been living on borrowed time. He all like Diddy's been doing his thing for years, and now it's catching up to him. The tea is scorching, and it's clear Kelly's not here to play nice.
The man here take like 15 spoons of sugar in his coffee. So it's all a possibility.
Do you think there's any celebrities on them tapes?
Bro, he gave celebrity parties. So what you think? You know, I think they're not telling the whole truth, is that because of the situation in Miami and the situation in California, and they closed the clubs like 2 a.m., 3 a.m. or something like that, that Justin and Christian was bringing big vans of girls and people back to the mansion and giving parties and stuff like that. And a lot of those stuff were their parties. A lot of that shit was their parties. They wasn't always Puff parties. It was his son's parties.
Good point. They said some of these freak-offs will last for days.
That's where they're gonna get him on the sex trafficking thing. Especially like if he was traveling and doing it. That's where the sex trafficking come at. That you hiring sex workers to come and have sex with your girl? That's crazy. That's some Hollywood shit that I don't even know, bro. That's crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy. But they also claiming that, you know, Diddy, he'll give ecstasy to his victims to keep them obedient.
Then they have to bring those witnesses in there. That's gonna be something hard to prove. Unless Lil Rob or or Cassie state that was something that happened. That's how the prosecutor's gonna prove that. They got a ton of evidence that they gotta try to prove, bro. A lot of that that if you read it, it could be circumstantial, you know what I'm saying? But they gotta have witness to back it up. You just can't say that that happened based on somebody lawsuit and what the words that they're saying. They have to have witnesses in there. And I think Puff lawyers is gonna be smart enough to attack that.
Right. And they claiming that Diddy, you know, he was blackmailing his victims because he had videos from old freak-offs and he was using those videos to get his victims to do another freak-off. So
if he was blackmailing people, especially people that work for him, see, this is what it's gonna get him at. See, people think that, those people work for him, or those people, if they was artists and they work for him, or they were engineers, or they anybody that worked for them and stuff like that, your boss cannot blackmail you to do nothing. If you do a sexual act or you doing anything, your boss, if he have you doing those things like that, then he could be liable for suit. Because you're not doing it willingly. Because that individual is your boss. So psychologically, you know what I'm saying? I don't care what nobody say, that when somebody has something over you, could determine your job, your career, your livelihood. That's somewhat of a blackmail if they holding stuff that they've done, that you've done in the past, over your head to make you continually doing that stuff now. That's where he loses at. Because some of those people work for him, or he was a part of doing something. They was part of doing something for their career with him. That's why he loses that case.
But here's where it gets real interesting. Kelly's not just talking about Diddy's public image. He's hinting at some deeper, darker secrets that could shake up the whole industry. He's saying stuff like, if y'all only knew half of what goes on behind closed doors, what kind of doors is he talking about and what's been happening behind them? The thing is, Kelly's words carry a different weight. Now he's a man with nothing left to lose, sitting in a cell with all the time in the world to think about the past. And you know what they say, a man with nothing to lose is the most dangerous kind. So what does all this mean for Diddy? Well, it ain't looking good. Kelly's comments are adding fuel to an already raging fire with all these allegations swirling around. The last thing Diddy needs is an old industry friend turning on him. It's like the walls are closing in and Kelly's just handed everyone a bigger sledgehammer. But let's keep it real for a second. We got to remember who's doing the talking here. R. Kelly ain't exactly a beacon of truth and morality. His words might be juicy, but they're coming from a pretty tainted source. So while the streets might be eating this up, we got to take it all with a grain of salt. Still, you can't deny the impact of Kelly's words. He's shining a spotlight on Diddy that brighter and hotter than ever before. It's got people asking questions, digging deeper, and wondering what other might come tumbling out of Diddy's closet.
So let me ask you, because I look at Gabriel Union, and when you mention things like Jay-Z's time is coming for him, then I look at Beyonce, and I say that women do have a
that country album, and any of you that buy that shit stupid as shit.
You don't give it no
trap
credit.
music with goddamn a holster and a hat.
But she remade Jolene.
That bitch. I'm gonna tell you the song she should have remade. It's a hit. It would have done great for her. She should have tried it on. Tammy Wynette. Classic. Stand by your man. Don't act like you don't know that hell. Remake that. Stand by that. That's a real country hit. Jolene, nice. But it has a ring to it. Stand by your man. Yeah. Whoops and disrespects you with other like Kathy Coriana White.
All right, well, let's do it like
who was
this.
actually carrying his baby while you was spanking it. Why your husband don't want to put his seed inside of you? He put it in everybody else? Wild in this world, yo.
It's funny, you open up Beyonce's internet, it just gets weird.
Beyonce's internet.
That's what we're calling
that
it.
That belongs to the devil. Unless you calling that the devil, she ain't nothing but an employee.
Oh.
Half of which dumbass bitch.
So, it's funny that it's crazy you say these things.
Why don't nobody want to accept that bitch bitch?
I think she
went and killed the girl cats.
Okay.
A girl went to court and charged her with extreme witchcraft. She was hypnotized. She was drugged. Beyonce came and she was in there eating on her and shit while she was asleep. Snacking on his bitch, killing people cats. And guess what? They wouldn't give her the restraining order. They just told her to stay away from Beyonce and work for somebody else. Guess what? She's having a hard time finding work too. Which is interesting because she's a brilliant musician. And she was trained at the esteemed Berklee College of Music. Handpicked by my very good friend, Terry Lynn Carrington, Dr. Terry Lynn Carrington, who put together Beyonce's entire female band, which was Matthew Knowles' idea because he couldn't get Beyonce to stop people. Guess you didn't know your daughter well enough because she just started all the girls. Impulse control issues? I don't know. I'm saying, Sean Carter, you're a piece of shit. Taking Pimp C wasn't bad enough. You just want to go down there and you want to just remove all of the balls from every real gangster in Houston. Why the fuck did that house burn up? Who the fuck goes to their childhood house for a visit and the shit goes up in flames?
That was very weird. The next day, within the week?
And no, the next day.
The next day.
And still, no real investigation on how the house just went up in flames.
Man.
I guess they paid y'all off. Like they paid y'all off for that Astro World.
So, let me ask you.
Texas politics.
Yeah, Texas politics, man. It's that right there. We're gonna talk about the episode, but for right now, I just got to get your take on when we see a Killer Mike win 3 Grammys
and get arrested immediately after because Jay-Z paid somebody to up just so he couldn't have a good night. You, Sean.
Hey, man.
Weirdo. I don't get no what you got in your head, that Neuralink. You'll never outthink me. Ever. All I do is frustrate your AI. You can't quantify me. You can't even control your wife. You gonna handle a bitch like me. You can't even control that goofy bitch. You should have did a better job. Maybe she wouldn't have had to lose her mind on Kathy. Cause you ain't protecting you. You're protecting her.
While everyone's buzzing about the Diddy drama, R. Kelly's got some piping hot tat spill about Jay-Z too. And let me tell you, it's got the streets talking like you wouldn't believe these two used to be thick as thieves, but now it's looking like there's more bad blood between them than we ever knew. Let's take it back for a hot minute. R. Kelly and Jay-Z, they were like the dynamic duo of R&B and hip-hop back in the day. I remember that Best of Both Worlds album, it was supposed to be the collab of the century, but faster than you can say drama, it all went south. Shows got canceled, fingers got pointed, and next thing you know, these two were even speaking now. Kelly's sitting in his cell, probably thinking about all the old times, all the secrets he's been keeping, and he's decided it's time to let it all out. The question on everyone's mind is, what kind of dirt does Kelly have on Jake CA? You know, when you work that close with someone, you see all kinds of things that never make it to the public eye. Kelly's not holding back, girl. He's out here saying Jay-Z knew way more about what was going down in the industry than he ever let on. He's talking about how Jay always played it cool, acted like he was above all the mess, but Kelly painting a whole different picture. He's saying stuff like Jay was right there in the thick of it, seeing everything, knowing everything. But here's where it gets real juicy. Kelly's hinting that Jay-Z might have some skeletons in his closet that could shake up his whole empire if they ever came to light. He's not giving us all the details, but he's dropping enough crumbs to get everyone's imagination running wild. What kind of secrets could Jay be hiding that Kelly thinks are worth spilling now?
Sean P. Combs, he's a bad guy. Can't wait to see it.
Would you like a woman to be the judge over this thing?
Oh, that would be beautiful. That would be beautiful.
I don't think that'll happen.
But do you know who I would rather see a woman preside over? Jennifer Lopez. when she's finally held accountable for the part she played in the harm that was put on Natanya Rubin's life.
Do you think they'll bring up charges on Jennifer Lopez?
They better. She committed perjury. And the attorney that was representing the defense side of that suborned perjury. Last time I checked, there's no statute of limitation on perjury. We can start there. Let's bring Jenny to the cell block. She's been to every other block.
Sometimes they'll open up a case to bring light on other cases. Do you feel the Shine, the club night with him and Jennifer Lopez will come back to light?
Oh, absolutely. It has to. It has to. If it was good enough to be content on Law and Order for what? The 12th season, episode 9? The one episode, 3 Dog Night, that they have done a public statement saying they will never air on television again. Matter of fact, they went and they edited out in the box set. They replaced it with an episode that's now gray. But it was 3 Dog Night. And the part of Jennifer Lopez was played by Kerry Washington. Idris Elba played the role of Diddy.
Gotta find this episode.
You gotta look hard. It took me and Odell forever to get it, and we have to track down one of the original box sets.
Wow.
Yeah. And guess what happened in the end of that episode? When they finally tracked down the starlet who they were hiding from everyone, so she never had to testify. The male rapper took the charge, so the case was closed, and that's when she finally admitted that it was her that did the pow-powing. And they just let it ride. Isn't that funny? How similar does that sound to what really happened with J-Lo, Shine, and Diddy? And you want to know what's funny? Ice-T knows a lot of people from that time, and he used to frequent at that club. He would have known all of the real details of everything that happened that night. And rather than someone forcing it back into the law's hand, it became an episode for Law and Order SVU. A lot of money was made off of that. Natanya Rubin has not begun to see reparations for what happened to her life. How did NBC get to profit off of it? See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If it was good enough to be a television episode, it should be good enough to be reopened for charges. Because clearly there were other people that knew the truth of that story.
The fact that Keefe D is in jail for Pac's murder, do you feel like they may go even deeper to the 90s in regards to just asking?
They have to, because that's the beginning of everything that's leading up to the tragedies that are about to happen now.
The thing is, Jay-Z's built this image of being untouchable. He's the businessman, the family man, the one who made it out and made it big. But Kelly's words, they're like cracks in that perfect picture. It's got people wondering if there's more to Jay's story. We've been told now. We got to keep it real. Kelly ain't exactly the most reliable source these days. His word ain't worth much in the court of public opinion, but that don't mean people ain't listening, because even if half of what he's saying is true, it could be enough to cause some serious waves in Jay's world. Think about it. Jay-Z's got his hands in everything: music, streaming, sports, you name it. He's built this empire that seems unshakable, but if Kelly's got the kind of tea he's hinting at, it could have folks looking at Jay sideways, questioning every move he's made. The streets are already buzzing, trying to connect the dots. People are digging up old interviews, looking for clues, trying to figure out what Kelly might know. It's like everyone's playing detective, trying to crack a code before Kelly spills it all. But here's the million-dollar question: is Jay sweating CZ? If he is, the ain't showing it. Man's got a poker face that could win him millions in Vegas, but you got to wonder if behind closed doors he's making some calls, trying to get ahead of whatever storm Kelly might be brewing.
Everybody knows at this point in time, Keefe D ain't do it. He's already made it very clear he had a profit deal, which means he's been working with the government all this time. When are people going to start asking how long Diddy and Jay-Z have been cooperating with the government as well? Everybody was cooperating with the feds but them? Doesn't make any sense. What I do know, though, is that everyone is starting to notice things that they didn't notice 15, 20 years ago. Suge isn't looking like the monster that everyone painted him out to be. And Diddy sure ain't no choir boy. The more we start to uncover things, we're starting to realize that whatever we've been led to believe, it's actually the exact opposite. Like I told you, you guys got to talk to that girl, Love Jones, and talk about her times last summer on a Sprinter van, where she was put in the van given a drink of De Leon. She said it didn't feel like an alcohol high. It felt different. She felt tingled all over almost instantly. Y'all need to talk to her. Because she was partying with, I believe, Justin and Christian Combs. This was last summer. It's bittersweet. I'm just praying that they will keep him in, because I think that will give a lot of victims the courage to say and speak and come forward. But until they're good for it, I'm gonna keep doing it. The Jay-Z victims are gonna be worse. They're worse because of the psychological torture that comes along with what he does. Like I said,
do you think Jay-Z is scared right now?
Oh, he's terrified. He's terrified. He's losing confidence everywhere. But the only confidence he's worried about keeping secure are those white boys that he worked for. That's his only loyalty. Not even to his wife is he loyal.
But what do you think? And just again, hypothetically, if his kids, as young as they are, asked, "Daddy, who's that man on TV getting arrested? Isn't that your friend?" What would his response be?
He wouldn't respond. He would just laugh and walk away. That's Sean Carter. He doesn't own up to anything. Ever. Gaslight you right in your face. Do it smooth. He's a sociopath. He doesn't have any real feelings or emotions. Everything is transactional. You know? I think the only time he's really comfortable and happy in his own skin is when he's laying in the warm embrace of a man.
Jack, come on. Jack.
What?
Come on, man. You can't paint those kind of pictures into people's heads, man.
Why? It got painted in the mind with the videotape that I saw of him looking very happy in the embrace of a man. I didn't want to believe it.
Damn, okay. Well, Jack,
I couldn't believe it. Then it all made sense, you know?
Jack, what was the last conversation that you and Jay-Z had? How did that go?
He told me he was going to end my career and make sure no one in the world ever knew I existed. And I told him it was a pretty big world, and we'll see, Sean.
Now, before we get too caught up in Kelly's words, let's take a step back. What if this whole thing is just smoking mirrors? The real question is why now? And what's Kelly really hoping to gain by throwing all this shade? The streets are buzzing with theories about Kelly's motives. Some folks are saying he's just trying to stay relevant, even from behind bars, but others think there's something deeper going on here. Kelly's locked up tight, facing some serious time, and suddenly he's spilling tea on two of the biggest names in hip-hop. Something ain't adding up. Let's break it down for a sec. Kelly, sitting in a cell watching his whole empire crumble. His music's been pulled from streaming platforms, radio stations won't touch his tracks, and his name's become straight up poison in the industry. So what's a fallen start to do? Start pointing fingers, that's what. But here's where it gets real interesting. Kelly's not just running his mouth for no reason. The streets are saying he might be trying to cut a deal. You know the whole "I'll tell you what I know if you go easy on me" type of thing. And if that's the case, girl, you better believe he's got some serious dirt to dish. Think about it. Kelly's been in the game for decades. He's seen things, heard things, and probably done things that would make your head spin. And now that he's got nothing left to lose, he's ready to air out all that dirty laundry. But is anyone going to believe him? That's the real tea.
What I know, I don't know what he knows, but I do know this, that it's only 3 people that had contracts with Puff and Bad Boy. Me, Wolf, and Paul Offord. If he didn't come through Paul Offord security, Green Gate security, he didn't have a contract with Puff. Because anybody who worked for Puff, other than me and Wolf, came through Green Gate security. That was Paul's security thing. Especially at the time that he was saying that he worked for Puff, or Puff offered him $30,000. Now, anybody knows this, that Bad Boy took 50% of all this artist publishing, right? 50% of all the artist publishing straight out the rip. Then Puff gave Big $200,000 for the rest of his publishing. So what publishing did he was trying to get and keep from Puff? You understand? What publishing was Puff was trying to get when he already had it? He had already paid for it. What part of the catalog was he talking about? I don't understand that. And then he said that Puff offered him $30,000. I can't say he lied, but I can say that he wasn't a part of Bad Boy security that I know. I knew everybody who worked during them days. You understand? And I don't know dude from a can of paint.
So whoever this Uncle Ron dude is, he's a liar then. He's a fraud.
Is he a fraud? Bruh, he's what he is. He wasn't part of our security that I knew of. Not at that time. He never been on no trips with us. He never been at no parties, no nothing. So is he a fraud? The internet will have the real niggas looking fake and the fake niggas looking real. Put it together. How could he want Biggie publishing when he already had it? That's where he fucked up at. That's where he fucked up at. How you want something that you already own?
Yeah, you right. You right.
I know I am. That's where he fucked up at. Bad Boy owns 50% of the shit already as an artist. They got 100%. Bad Boy takes 50% right off the top. Then he gave Big $200,000 for the rest of his publishing. So now the other stuff goes to the producers or whatever of the music. So what is he talking about?
The thing is, Kelly's words are hitting different now that he's behind bars. It's like he's got a whole new kind of power. He can't make music anymore, but he sure can make waves. And those waves are turning into a straight-up tsunami for folks like Diddy and Jay-Z. But let's keep it 100 for a second. Kelly's facing some serious charges. We're talking decades in prison if he's found guilty. So is this all just a desperate attempt to shift the spotlight, or is he genuinely trying to expose some deeper, darker truths about the music industry? Reactions from the industry have been mixed, to say the least. Some people are brushing off Kelly's words, saying he's just a bidder has been trying to stay relevant, but others are starting to sweat because if Kelly's telling the truth even a little bit, it could open up a whole can of worms that nobody's ready for. Social media has been blowing up since Kelly started running his mouth. Some folks are eating it up, loving all the drama. Others are calling him out, saying he's got no right to point fingers given his own mess. But one thing's for sure, everyone's talking about it. So what's the bigger picture here? Is Kelly really trying to expose some deep-seated corruption in the music industry? Or is this just the last desperate move of a man who's lost everything? The streets are divided, and the truth, well, that's still up for grabs. One thing's clear, though Kelly's words are shaking things up in a big way, he's got people questioning everything they thought they knew about their favorite artists. And in an industry built on image and reputation, that kind of doubt can be straight up deadly.
Now, Carisha and Rick Ross just sat down together in an interview.
Yeah, I know. Two Diddy doo-wop bops. What a reunion. Only thing they got
Now,
Will Diddy start snitching?
Prove it up. Yeah,
he better. He better. But the only thing I'm interested in him talking about is everything he knows about Kathy Coriana White. See, I know you know what happened, Corey. Diddy, I know that. You and Jay-Z down in Vegas at Tao with Claudia. Why don't you just talk about Kathy? That might help. That might help a lot.
I would say, if those who don't know who Kathy is.
Kathy Coriana White, Jay-Z's pregnant mistress, who died 24 hours after she announced that she was going public with their relationship and the baby while he was married to Beyonce.
Now,
Was
Jack,
it an aneurysm, Diddy? Or are you the one who paid the same coroner that you... Oh, Diddy, you should talk.
do you feel the federal government will probably speak to Jay-Z in regards?
They already have.
Oh.
They talked to him before he made that Super Bowl announcement. Isn't that interesting? He was questioned by the feds before he made the Super Bowl announcement. Blink twice. Oh, this about to get fun for me.
Yeah. Let me add.
There's nothing like, have you ever seen what happens to a rat when it's trapped in a heated environment?
Oh, it'll eat through anything.
Claw will eat its way through anything. So I want y'all to imagine this. I got Jay-Z on his back with his stomach exposed. Diddy is the rat that I'm using. And I'm gonna take a metal trash can and put it right on Jay-Z's stomach with Diddy right in there. And I'm gonna heat that bitch up and see what he eat through. Fuck you, Sean. Both of y'all. I got you, bitch. I told you.
As the U.S. attorney came on and spoke on the indictment, next to him you see 6 U.S. AUSAs, his assistant attorneys. I believe 1 pregnant, 1 a little older, but all white women. What are your thoughts on that when you see 6 women assisting the U.S. attorney?
A small choruses of Nancy Graces?
Basically.
I think it's fabulous.
Yeah. Need it.
Sean P. Combs, he's a bad guy. Can't wait to see it.
Would you like a woman to be the judge over this thing?
Oh, that would be beautiful. That would be beautiful.
I don't think that'll happen.
The tea Kelly's been spilling is hotter than a summer sidewalk. He's out here saying Diddy's been living on borrowed time, and Jay-Z as clean as he wants us to think. The streets are buzzing with theories about what Kelly really knows. But here's the thing, is Kelly telling the truth, or is this just a desperate move from a man with nothing left to lose? His words are shaking up the whole hip-hop world, making everyone look at these music moguls differently. Could this be the start of a whole new era of exposed secrets in the industry? What do you all think? Is Kelly onto something, or is he just trying to save his own skin? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Calls this tea is too hot not to share.